Meredith. Where is Meredith? Here she is. Meredith will be talking about a group, Hoody's Heroes, that we've got also in Mackay and Serena.
Thanks, Lisa. Forgive me for reading off my sheet. So Hoody's Heroes is an organic group or movement, if you like, that grew through the need during the COVID era. Graham Hood, affectionately known by many as Hoody, was a senior pilot with Qantas for more than 25 years. He'd wanted to be a pilot from a very young age, and his dream was realised. When Qantas gave him the ultimatum to either conform and get the jab or lose his job, he chose the latter. Being a pilot, he had done risk assessments every day of his career, thanks Lisa, and when he did that on the jab, he didn't pass the test. He recorded a video about the situation he was faced with and the decision he had to make. When he posted it, he knew his flying days would end. What he didn't realise though was that video would go viral overnight, and Hoody the pilot became a beacon of light to many people. I was one of those people who, like him, had been sacked for making the same choice that he did. It was a dark time in our history when workmates, friends and family were divided, all because of a medical choice that we were forced to make. As we now know, that choice would prove to be neither safe nor effective. Hoody's message, like I said, was a beacon of hope, and people began to contact him. The response was overwhelming and certainly not what he had expected. As a result, several people got behind him and created Facebook pages called Hoody's Heroes. These groups connected people, many who were ostracised, marginalised, fearful and alone. Phone support was offered by people who had experience in counselling. Accommodation was sought by people who had suddenly found themselves without a job or means of supporting themselves. People were reaching out and people were responding. It all happened so beautifully and gave people hope, friendship and support. And so a new community was born, Hoody's Heroes. Today there are groups in every state and in many towns around Australia. I believe these groups are overseas as well. The groups may just be a chat group on Facebook. They may be a coffee catch-up, gardening group, Bible study, knitting, you name it. If there's a need, then there is a group. There's a Facebook page set up for both Serena and one for Mackay. Please join the pages. I have the links over here at the table if you would like to have a look. If you think this is something you'd like to be involved in, please come and see us. We don't want anyone to feel alone or ostracised. Starting a small group or reaching out to others can be beneficial to all. Several months ago, Hoody started a weekly chat with Professor Ian Brighthope. He's an integrative therapist who's had a lifelong interest in nature. The Brighthope Clinic specialise in nutritional medicine, environmental medicine, intravenous therapies and herbal medicine. These talks throw light on many natural therapies and educate us in the natural therapies. You'll find the links to these on Hoody's pages. Hoody, along with his mate Johnny Larder, who also sadly lost his job as a paramedic during the COVID madness, started Club Rubbery. Together they have interviewed over 500 people, many prominent health advocates, politicians, vaccine-injured people, and the list is endless. These interviews can be accessed on Rumble, and they are definitely worth listening to. So in closing, if you'd like to connect with like-minded people for support and friendship, there's a range of groups represented here today. Hoody's is just one of them. Please feel free to come and have a chat to any of us. Thanks for coming today. Together we can make a difference. Leave no man behind. Thank you, Mary.
busy lady, because she also does, I think many of you would have heard of, put your hand up if you've heard of Forest of the Fallen. Wow. Okay, if you have a look out here, that's Forest of the Fallen. I will let Meredith explain what that is. Very busy lady, and I'm sure if anybody has the ability to volunteer to help her sometime, she would really appreciate it. Thanks, Meredith. Okay, I'm just going to ask you some questions. So, what are these sticks all about that we've got? You see them lined up along the footpath and along the bridge here. I've seen social posts on socials where it's been all around Australia. Is it worldwide? It's all around worldwide? Okay, can you just explain to us what those sticks are?
Thanks, Lisa. So, Forest of the Fallen was born in Tasmania. A lady called Selkie stood in a park for quite a few weeks with one stick and one story. And she wanted to highlight people this particular person that had been injured by the vaccine. And so she got a lot of ridicule and pushback, but she stood. A little bit like the beginnings of Stand in the Park when Brady Gunn stood in that park in Sydney. But anyway, Selkie, bless her heart, stood there because, as we know now, people that have been vaccine injured are not hurt. And so from that one stick that she had in Tasmania, it has grown very sadly to many, many more stories than what we have displayed here. So over time, through her own interviewing and through Jab Injuries Australia, Selkie set up a website with some of the stories that we see here, and then it was a little bit like Hoody's and a bit like all the other groups. I guess it just grew organically, and people saw it. And when I saw it, I just thought, wow, these people that aren't being heard have a voice. I heard some stories down here when we were coming through Water Key, and it really troubled me that people were suffering in silence and had no voice. So this was a perfect way to give them some exposure and give them a voice. The images we've got out here, are they local? Are they Australia-wide? What are the what's the locality of the injured and deaths that we see out there? So they're Australia-wide. Our stories are Australian, but there are sets of the forest overseas as well, and I'm sure that they're gathering stories from their own countries. Yeah. So there's a signal group with Forest of the Fallen groups all over Australia that get together and show each other what they're doing and encourage each other, I guess. So when Lenny and I were down in Canberra earlier in the year, we happened to go to a council meeting, just fun when you're on holidays, go to a council meeting, and the lady that we sat next to was running the Forest of the Fallen in Canberra. So, you know, God knows, it was wonderful. We had a great time with her and went to the Forest of Canberra on Lake Burley Griffin and, just interacted with them and saw what they were doing. So I guess, you know, it's really just about giving those people that have been injured a voice, and it's quite a confronting but also a soft way of people waking up, because when people see that, they think it's something to do with lost people or, you know, anything else but vaccine injuries. So when we explain to them what's going on, often it is a real awakening for them. We do feel there's a great responsibility when we share with people, and it's not only me, there's a group of us. Helen is my offsider, and is so reliable and always there, and I just love it a bit. Thank you, Helen. And we have the others that come along and help us put the sticks in, like my husband, he's reliable as well. So we just, I guess it's just a great way to, for people to see what's actually happening.
I just have a question. The age, what are the age ranges that we've got for forest and fauna, this is people's personal stories, and I'm interested to know what people have sent in and shared with you.
Sadly, Lisa, there's children in there. I think we've got 9 stories that have come from the AVN, Australian Vaccine Network. I think there's 9, and they've got a case number. We haven't got all the stories up today because of space, but the AVN, the Australian Vaccine Network bus, has been travelling around. Most of you have probably seen the pushback that they had in Katoomba from there. But yeah, the ages are from babies that have been vaccinated to unborn miscarriages. The rates of miscarriages have skyrocketed since the vaccine's been introduced, as we know. Not safe and not effective. If anybody would like to be part of it, if anybody would like to put the display up at an event that they are involved in, it's not ours, it's a community thing, and we would be more than willing to share it. So all we ask is that it's treated with respect.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Thank you. That's if people could volunteer to help these guys, I think that's really a lot of information we really need to get out to the public. There's many people out there still unaware. The years on, still unaware of what the dangers. They're still pushing it. And there's people still unaware of the dangers that these things pose. So please, if you're wanting to help or volunteer or contact or interested in using them in an event that you've got, you'll find Meredith at this table over here. She's got more information for you over there, can help you out. Also, I forgot to mention too, if you need any information about the Worldwide Rally for Freedom, please see team. They've got a table down the back there for Worldwide Rally for Freedom on the phone.